All right, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Utah's online library, and I have a librarian here to help us with a very special tool. So, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris Haught. I work at Southwest Educational Development Center, known as SEDC. We're a regional service center that provides a number of services to our rural schools. We have 6 districts and 7 charter schools in our area that we service. So I've got the joy of working with about 100 librarians and seeing what they do and being able to share things.
Oh, that's amazing. Perfect. So, what tool are you going to be sharing with us today?
I love using Gale Kids InfoBits. The Gale Elementary Suite is just awesome. It is so easy to navigate. It's easy for kids to use, and just so much good content in there. So I want to share how you can engage kids with this using it in Canvas and be able to add that to your lesson plans really easy.
Oh, that's awesome. So that extra step of adding it to Canvas, I think is going to make it very useful for a lot of teachers and librarians. Why are you using this? How do you see some teachers and librarians using this tool?
I see it as a way to show students what good resources are, rather than telling the kids to go out to Google and look for information on bears. They can say, okay, we're going to go to Gale InfoBits and we're going to look at bears there, or all the other tools in Utah's online library. It goes back to that conversation about databases versus Google. How do we get authentic research? How do we find those facts without having to sift through a million different things? And this way you can keep the kids right in Canvas. You can show them some information, let them digest it, and not get kind of down that rabbit hole of
Absolutely.
when you start searching for things, right?
Yes, because I get trapped in that rabbit hole as an adult. Yeah, so why don't you give us a quick tutorial of how to use this tool?
Hey, I'll be glad to. Okay, so when you're in Canvas, if you use modules, this is a great way to add some information from the Gale library. You can add a page or you can add an assignment. So you can see in this module, I've put a header in here that says read the articles. And if the student clicks on this Pilgrim's article, then that article's already embedded and they can read it right there.
Boom, and they don't have to log in?
Nope, they don't have to log in. You don't have to remember how to log in or send them the link, but they've got that specific article right here at their fingertips. So after they've read that article, your next thing in the module might be to read, here's another article on turkeys. So now we've read 2 articles. So now maybe you put your assignment in and you can have a would you rather type of question, or you can do a compare and contrast, but you can have that assignment follow right behind those articles that the students have read. And so if you continue just hitting the next button, you can continue with this assignments. So let's go back and look at the module that we've done. So you can see I've got several assignments in here. If you want to add these assignments in Canvas, it's really easy. So let me show you. We're just going to add something to the module by clicking right here, and we're going to add an assignment. I'll call it a new assignment, and I'm going to call this Gale, and I'm going to add the item, and this just adds it right to my module. Really easy just to come in here and then go ahead and edit the assignment. Okay. Now here's where the fun part begins. You look for the little socket right here. See that socket? You click on that and it gives you all of these external tools that your Canvas admin has installed. And so I'm going to go look for Kids InfoBits, and it brings up Kids InfoBits. Now this is the exact same database that you find in Utah's online library. So I can search for things in here. So today we're going to search for animals, maybe some reptiles. And so I'm going to drill down until I find the article that I want. You could also use the search feature and just go directly to an article and search. So now I've got this amphibian articles, and you'll notice that it says level 1 and level 2. You can pick an article that has a different reading level. So if you look at the reading level here on level 1, it's different. If we look at level 2, it's a different grade level. So you can pick which one is best. And then all you have to do is click on this embed document, and boom, it's embedded in your document. In your assignment, and you can type in some instructions there, and then you want to give a due date to it, and then you're going to save and publish, and there you go. Now you've got this article that the kids can read. What's even better is when they're reading this article, they can use the other tools that are available in Gale. You can use the listen, so it will read the article out to them. They can enlarge the text. And even better, you can translate the text into any language. So some of your ELL learners, this would be a great tool. It's a way to differentiate instruction. So you have different levels that you can use. They can listen to it, and they can listen to it in different languages. So that's all you have to do. Now this is assigned to the student, and you're ready to go. Now, if you didn't want to make that assignment, then all you need to do is come up here and go to add to the module and add a page and put it in a page. And that just makes it a content page that you could share information with. So it's a great way to be able to share information to your students without sending them out of Canvas or down that rabbit hole that we talked about, and you're giving them the information that they want. Now, if you want them to go search, all you need to do is make sure that your admin is enabled the Kids InfoBits over here on the navigation, and they can click right there, and they're now in Utah's online library in Gale in Context Elementary, and they can start and they can search on their own there. So this is a great way to introduce kids how to use keywords, how to search, how to find good information, cite their sources. So many resources. They can save it to Drive. So many resources available in here, way better than Google.
Oh
so
my
thanks,
gosh.
Dani, for letting me share that. Any questions?
I don't have any questions, right? Actually, I lied. I have one question. I know we were talking about Gale Kids InfoBits. However, if a teacher in secondary wanted to do the same thing, is it just as easy?
Oh, just as easy. So Gale has several different levels. There's Gale Middle School and Gale High School. There's also opposing viewpoints. There's science. There's a ton of different databases that are in this Gale, and they all work the same way. So I think there's 8 different databases that you can have installed. And that's a good question, because if you want to change those and you go into your Canvas course, then you can go to your settings. And if you look at the navigation, it will tell you all the ones that you have, and you can just drag the different ones that you want up there for your kids to be able to access.
That is fantastic. You are a wealth of information, Chris. Thank you for being on the first Utah's Online Library Product Spotlight and Librarian Spotlight.
Thanks, Dan. It was my pleasure. I love using Utah's Online Library and sharing it with our librarians, teachers, and students. It's a great resource. We're so lucky to have it in the state.